Can I volunteer?
Yes, I will pray. Let's believe and pray. I hope you can hear me.
Thank you, Joan.
Okay, let's pray. Father, in Jesus' name, we come before you this evening.
I can.
We are grateful for this day. Thank you for being with us, Lord, even this week since we were together as a class. Lord, I pray that you shall be with us as we go through our class today. Give us understanding. Open up our minds, O Lord. Help us to understand. We pray for good internet. And for those who are yet to join, God, we pray that you'll make a way for them to join. For those who are going through maybe difficult seasons, God, I pray that you shall come through for them, that you shall ease them and comfort them. For those who are celebrating, God, we pray that you shall fill them with your peace and with your joy. Thank you for this opportunity to learn together, and we pray that we shall be a blessing to others through these studies. Bless our teacher also and her family. In Jesus' mighty name we pray. Amen.
Amen. Thank you, Joan. Thank you very much for that powerful prayer, and particularly for the internet. We ignore some simple things. Internet is a real threat to everyone. You can even have power shut down. You can have a disconnection. Things can happen. And we have gadgets with us. They can even refuse to work. So thank you for that. And for others, I do want to welcome each and everyone to this particular session this evening. I can say I'm fine. In fact, we are in a week of Mothers Union. It is called Talent Week. So we are visiting people, the need and what have you, and our climax will be on Saturday. So I thank God that I have been able to attend a few. I am coming from somewhere. We had a visit, and I thank God for this opportunity because we need help from all areas. Welcome, and maybe if you are in a position to share, you can share briefly. For me, as of here now, I'm okay. The week has been fine. Few challenges here and there. My laptop has misbehaved from Sunday. It started misbehaving. I thought it was a joke. On Monday, when I tried to mark the journals, it refused completely. And I'm praying God to help me. If it's not repairable, I prepare to buy another one. There's no choice. Otherwise, that is the challenge I have because of the nature of my work. But I am optimistic. Anybody else can share briefly?
I can go next.
Thank you.
For me, I'm doing well. I resumed work today. Apparently, I realized I love making crafts for the children. So I was assigned to do some workbook for the upcoming camp, and I was very excited about it. But I've been a little bit down, some coughs. I didn't know cough syrups have been burnt. I don't know how true is that. So I was given eucalyptus. Apparently eucalyptus makes someone feel sleepy. So I'm trying to take coffee, not to sleep in class. But all in all, I'm happy I'm back, resumed work, and yeah.
Who will go next? Thank you.
Good evening, Mwalimu and my colleagues.
Good evening to you.
Yes, I'm fine. The Lord has been faithful to me and my family. The Lord has seen us through, and I'm grateful. I wanted to say that the week has been very busy, very busy week. I've traveled, I've come back, and I thank God because He gave us the masses when we coming back. I have met a number of people with lead and with different issues, but the Lord has been faithful because we have been able to share. And thank you because the Lord has given us a way out. So I thank you all for. I hope you have been also enjoying the same, the protection from the Lord. And I hope the week which is ahead of us, God also will be with us. Thank you. And I'm looking forward to today's class. And I hope you all participate and wait to be blessed by the Lord. Amen.
Okay, thank you, Timothy. And you will call me after we talk about our something we had. You call me, I'll tell you the way forward.
Thank you.
Emaru, Timothy.
Thank you, Mike.
Yes.
Thank you. Okay.
Mm. Maybe people are not in a position to talk, and because people normally participate in the class, I think when you don't see people, you cannot judge. You know, when you don't see people, judgment is very, very risky. I may judge you, and you are not in a position to talk. So I do believe all is well, and we are together. Thank you once again. We are moving on very well, very, very well. And I think where we are now, the theories, we are moving well. We are almost through with the theories. And by the time maybe we reach group counseling, facilitation, and EVICO, I think I'll start now giving you cards based on elements. I can give you card one, meaning element one, at least by tomorrow, so that you are able to look at it, so that we move together. We are not behind. I would also want to inform you early enough, we normally have the blue book for logging in the clients. Yes, they are there in the college. Somebody is Catherine is saying she is well. Thank you. There is also the blue book. Yes, Catherine is saying she is on transit, may not speak. Yeah. Thank you. Thank you. That's why I'm saying I cannot judge. There is a blue book where we log in our clients. It's also important those who can visit the campuses physically to go there and see how those blue books are, so that when you meet, you can be able to explain. Very important. That is a blue book. For the journals, I can see we are trying, and I've said I'll mark them and then give you back when I sort out my issue. So let's continue moving on well, and I hope all will be well. So today we have another new theory, but before I start, I don't know who is our class rep. Our class rep. I have never known.
Is Rosette.
Yes?
Rosette.
Rosette is our class rep. Okay, Sawa. Sawa. Once I know that, I'm okay now. Thank you. So today we are talking about another theory, and I know you have it in your timetable. It is called existential theory. Existential theory. And this theory is about our existence. When we talk of existential, we are talking about existence. And basically what this theory entails, it comes from the idea of existence. Being alive and existing. All of us are alive and we are existing today. Yes. So it is an idea of existence. We are all existing, but sometimes our existence can be challenging. And that's why maybe these people who came with this, they already decided to come with it, because existence or living in this world can be very cumbersome. When we arrive, we face very many challenges, and therefore maybe these proponents of this theory thought it wise to come up with it. And this theory, basically, it is used both in philosophy and counseling. So philosophers also use existential theories to question about our existence and so forth. And it is basically concerned on how people live, make choices, and find meaning. So those are in counseling. In counseling, we are talking about general meaning of existential therapy. It is how people live, how they make choices, and find meaning in life. So people are living, and a living creature can make choices, and a living creature needs to find meaning. When we fail to find meaning in life, we develop existential emptiness. In philosophy, on the other hand, it is about asking, who am I? Why am I here? What is the meaning of life? How should I live? So philosophically, when we talk of the existentialism, we are asking ourselves very many questions, and we do ask, why am I here? Why was I born? How should I live? What is the meaning of life? And we all reach there. And the thinkers are the ones who came with that. And in counseling, it is related to purpose. What is my purpose in life? What is my responsibility? What is the purpose of my existence in this life? So basically that is what existential therapy or theory entails, both in counseling, both in general life, and both in philosophy. So we shall be looking at that deeply. That was just an explanation or the preview of what existential theory is all about. We shall be digging deeper to know what is happening, or maybe how it started and what made it be called existential theory per se. So when we are talking of existential therapy or theory, it is, I have said it is philosophically driven, and it is talk-based psychotherapy. So philosophically driven, and it is talk-based psychotherapy. And it emerged around the 20th century, and its main focus was to focus on personal responsibility. Our existence basically is defined by our personal responsibility. What are we doing with ourselves? How are we defining ourselves? Because they say we are solely responsible for what we do. It also focuses on freedom. We have freedom of choice. So, for us to make meaning, how are we using our freedom? If you misuse your freedom by taking alcohol, engaging in criminal activities, and you're out in jail, existence can lack meaning. So the main focus is on that freedom. We shall look at it, and basically creating meaning in a largely meaningless world. The world we are living in is very meaningless. If you are not very careful, you get what we call existential void or emptiness. So as long as we live, can we be personally responsible for our behaviors, for our choices, for what we do? Can we also use our freedom in the best way possible? you are employed somewhere, you are always going to work very late, you get meaninglessness. Life will lose meaning because always the boss is complaining. Why are you late? Punishment. You are also given interdiction and so forth. So how well are we using this freedom? How are we creating meaning in a meaningless world? I'm an orphan. Let me give an example. Can I still feel like I am a human being despite the fact that I'm an orphan? So we create meaning in a largely meaningless world. This world can be very meaningless. If you don't look at things in a positive mindset, you get a lot of negativity. So this theory grew from the European philosophy, I've said, and it gained its prominence after the Second World War. Let me say something. After the Second World War, we had so many casualties. We had so many ex-servicemen, those people who participated in the war. And they were grieving. Some were even maybe wounded in the battle. And therefore, there was a lot of meaninglessness. And there was existential fear, like death, isolation, and so forth. So it gained prominence, and those people found out that this theory was key so that those people could be given the purpose of living. They could be encouraged. So people like Otto Rank, around 1930s and 1950s, they are the ones who started this theory. And actually, they used the Gestalt, Gestalt principle right here and now. They were not dealing with those casualties like yesterday. They were dealing with them as of here and now. How is the present making them feel after the war rather than during the war? So they did all that, and by the time maybe most of them were able to overcome, the theory had gone a long way in helping very many people. We also had the modern era. I don't want to go deeper. When you get the notes, you are going to get these stories. The modern era came with somebody called Yalom, and he's the one who solidified existential philosophy, and he now consolidated everything from the former proponents of the theory. Because some came with humanistic psychology, some came with of here and now, others came with being and time making you suffer. But the modern era now is the one that solidified the whole view now of existence. And this man by the name Yalo is the one now who summarized everything, maybe borrowing from what others had done around maybe 20, just around 20th century, maybe late, around that time. And that's how the theory came about because of those casualties. And here we have to pray and join ourselves from this theory so that we can see how our existence has been and how this theory can help us on a personal level or on community level, wherever you are. How can this theory help you? So, having said that, I just want to echo again that this theory is philosophically driven to ask questions, very many questions, and it focuses on the human condition. In fact, it focuses on the human condition. And one of the human condition it focuses on is freedom. This freedom I have, how can I use it? This problem I have, how can I deal with it? It also focuses on another condition called responsibility, I had mentioned, then anxiety, and search for meaning. So those are the four things, or which we call human conditions. Human beings need freedom. Human beings have to be responsible. Human beings become anxious. Human beings search for meaning. So those are the four human. Yes, yes.
Please repeat the last one. Anxiety and then lastly.
Search for meaning. Search for meaning. I said, let me come again. Kuna mtu ako na echo somewhere. I have said, let me come again to make it clear. I have said, this existential theory is philosophically driven, and we also said it is talk-based therapy that focuses on four human conditions. Four human conditions. Number one, freedom. Number two, responsibility. Number three, anxiety. Number four, search for meaning. Search for meaning. To search for meaning. Hii iko hapa. Search for meaning. Let me write the word search here. To search is to look for. So those are the four human conditions that it focuses on. And just to say it again for clarification, it focuses on symptoms. It doesn't focus on symptoms. Sio kile inaona or past, but it empowers the client. So the work of this theory is to empower. It does not look at the symptoms like Gestalt or the past like Sigmund Freud, but it empowers clients to do what? It empowers clients. This is a key word, to live authentically. So when you're using this theory and you have a client who has lost meaning in life and they tell you they want to commit suicide, you empower them. You empower them. You don't even look at the symptoms. You don't even bother about the past. What you do is try to empower them to live authentically. And when we talk of authentically, it's when we become very genuine with ourselves. Remember, we talked about that in Carl Rogers, authentically, empower these clients to live authentically, and secondly, help them to confront. I say it again, you help these clients to live authentically, that is one. You also empower them to confront. Core existential dilemmas. I'll tell you the existential dilemmas. To confront existential dilemmas. I come again because I'm beginning this theory. I've said the theory does not focus on symptoms or the past, but it empowers clients to live authentically and also to confront existential dilemmas. And I'll give you 4 existential dilemmas right now. So that when you are telling your client or you are telling yourself, what am I going to confront? You know, what are these dilemmas that we as human beings have? And how do they affect us as we live in this world? So the 4 existential dilemmas are: one is death, which is inevitable. One existential dilemma is death. You help them, if they have experienced a loss, help them to confront. Number 2, we shall be discussing that. Help them to confront this dilemma, another dilemma called isolation. Sometimes people feel isolated. Help them. Another existential dilemma is freedom. And the 4th one is meaninglessness. Meaninglessness. These are called existential dilemmas. Any query from there? Kemaro, what do you say up there?
Well, I'm catching up. I know some of these things we live with them, but we have never been aware of them. So we are creating more awareness to ourselves, and of course then we can extend to. So first of all, you have to create awareness. So all these things we experience them, but I wish to thank you for.
Yes.
We are wish to thank you for this. I think as we go on, we'll continue understanding. Yeah, that is my take. I submit.
It is okay. It is okay. Thank you. I just wanted to hear your input. So we are talking of those core existential dilemmas, and we have outlined them. They are death, isolation, freedom, meaninglessness, and all these are inevitable. Sometimes isolation is normal. Yes, you can be with people, but you feel isolated. How can you confront that? You can have that freedom, you don't know how to use it. So we shall look at that. So, secondly, existential theory is, or therapy is client-centered. Client-centered. And that's why we are, I don't know how this word, we are very specific. Because when we talk of existence, you don't exist for another person. You exist for yourself. So it is client-centered approach. And basically, it is geared towards giving something else we call awareness. When you are confronting the existential dilemma, you are creating awareness so that these people can find a meaning in life, inherent limitations. Very key. Life has inherent limitations, which we cannot actually deny. We cannot deny the fact that there is existential or inherent limitations. Inherent limitations. So we inherit those limitations. I don't know what that, it is very scary. When we talk of inherent limitations, we are talking about natural or unavoidable weaknesses. They are natural or unavoidable weaknesses or constraints that exist within something. So death exists within us. And actually, they cannot be completely eliminated because they are part of nature. When we talk of meaninglessness, it's part of nature. We cannot remove. Even freedom is part of nature. Isolation is part of nature. Death is part of nature. So all these things are very complex when we talk of it. So these inherent limitations can also entail like you have limited knowledge. Nobody has a monopoly of knowledge. So as human beings, we have limited knowledge. It's good to know that. Those are what I'm referring to as inherent limitations. We also have limited physical strength. Even Goliath being mammoth the way he was, he had limited physical strength. And we also have another inherent limitation. We cannot predict the future with certainty. We can say, I'm going to Mombasa tomorrow, but the certainty is not there. So we have a deficit. That one we should know. And when you develop something we call inflated ego and superiority complex, these inherent limitations can really disturb you because they are there and you don't want to agree that they are there. So they disturb you.
Am I the one who is lost?
No, we can't hear. I can't hear.
No,
Oh, yes, so I
she
can't-
might have a call. And I've seen somebody requesting to be shared with the link.
already shared.
Oh, thank you, thank you.
Sometimes when I'm broke, I'm the one who is broke. Like now, the problem I have is my problem of the laptop. But then, nevertheless, we shouldn't own our problem so much until they drain us from what we should have. Let nothing drain your energy so much. Because by the end of the day, you might not have control. So the theory helps us to move from restricted existence to an empowered, purposeful life. Yes, Marianne is saying it is limited. And somebody is writing there, Marianne, I don't know what it means. So far, so good. That is just the beginning of that theory. I've just given the preview a bit. And you might find this theory will keep on revolving around what I have said, but don't you worry. So we straight now away go to the principles. Let us try to look at the principles, and you are going to see even these principles. They will resemble what I'm saying, but it's a bit different. Okay. Over to what I want to say, principles of existential therapy. What guides this theory? So the first principle of this theory will be freedom and responsibility. And what this principle asserts is that human beings are viewed as free to shape their own life. So you are free to shape your own life. And because of that freedom, I want you to look at that concept very well. So you are free to shape, that is freedom, but that freedom comes with it a heavy responsibility. Pick that. So we are free to shape our own lives. Like now, Paul said, I am a free man. And he said, everything is permissible, but not everything is beneficial. So as a human being, you have that capacity. You are free to shape your own destiny. If you want to go to Kalahari Desert, go. But you'll be burnt by the sun. If you want to go to another area, go. But the choice you have made has consequences, because if there is a responsibility. You marry a very, let me use this example. Maybe you marry or you get married to a person out of your standard. You have the freedom, but with it comes very heavy responsibility. Yes. I have seen people complaining this person has a lot of money, is more educated. It was a choice. You had the freedom, you shape your own life, carry your own burden. That is what existential theory talks about. Because you have a very heavy responsibility for your choices. Please mute your video. Yes, somebody is requesting somebody to mute. Okay. That is one principle. Francis here. Francis, there are people I don't hear. Francis, are you with us? Yes. I have the list with me. I am saying, is Francis there? Francis?
Do you have Francis in class? I have never heard of his name. Francis? No, I have never heard of that name.
And I saw him in the list, and surely that's why I'm asking. Because I saw him in the list, I requested to be given the list. I saw him, then I didn't know. That's why I'm asking. Because I've never heard of him. Let's move on. We shall know whether he is part of us. The second one, the second principle is authenticity. When we talk of authenticity as a principle, we are talking of where individuals are helped to act in accordance to their true self without hiding. They be themselves. If they are suffering, they agree they are suffering. If they have anxiety, they say they have anxiety. That is very critical. Individuals, as they live, they should live according to how they are. If I don't have money, I say I don't have. Why we have so many people crashing, they are very fake. Even when things are not okay, you are saying, I'm fine. How are you fine? It's okay to say, I'm not fine. It's even okay to say, I have not picked what you have said. Authenticity. So existence becomes very, very, very critical when we are not authentic, because we fake. You fake and you take your children to a very high cost school. You don't have the money because you are fake. You buy very expensive things in your house. You are very fake. And then you are struggling there, fake. People should be authentic. In fact, there is somebody I challenged. She told me that girl was a single lady. My children are in a what? Are in a private school. And that time, she cannot afford basic needs. What was worse? She told me all the money I had, or I'll repeat, my dear, all the money I had, 7,000, which I had accumulated to boost my business. When the children were sent out of school, I took all the money to school. Then I asked her, you took all the money and now you don't have anything to eat? Isn't that funny? Do you find it funny? Though you are suffering, don't you think you have brought yourself the suffering? Thank you for giving that, yes. So please let us be authentic. Thank you for the clarifications you are making. The first principle was freedom and responsibility. Thank you, Marianne. The second one, I'm talking about authenticity. Let us be ourselves. If you cannot buy a car, walk because you are healthy. Nobody will kill you because of walking. There are so many vehicles around Kenya, many, even Uber. Yeah. That lack of what are people going to say? Those your existence will be very, very disturbing, and you live a very miserable life because you are a copycat. So let us be very careful on out there. I'm talking about this because the clients I meet, they are really suffering. They have existential, something I call crisis, existential crisis, because they have lost purpose. And when you dig deeper to find out why they have lost purpose, it's because the lifestyle is very high. It's because they do not accept themselves unconditionally. Okay, the third principle there is called the four givens. The four givens by Alom. They say fake. Yeah, they say fake it till you make it. That one, I don't know. For me, let me not be fake. And if it gives me a psychological problem, anyway, those who say it, let them say that. For me, I will not fake a lot, very much. The four givens. I will not die because of those masks. Those ones, the four givens. Let us look at the four givens by this man we call Ivan Yalom. This man is the one who came with the four givens as also a principle. And we said he's the one who modernized the theory. When he talked of the four givens, he is just talking of the four things that we talked about. That is the death, the freedom, the isolation, and the meaninglessness. Those are the four givens by Yalom. The four key givens. Death, freedom, isolation, and meaninglessness. If I may mention something about death, when we talk of death as one of the four givens, it states that we should accept the inevitability of death. It might be painful, but it is inevitable. Then freedom, it is taking a responsibility for our choices. So whatever you choose, if you go to the supermarket and pick many things, and you pay with almost every coin that you had for those things, you have taken you take responsibility of the choices, because you would have left some. Isolation. This one entails that we should recognize our aloneness. We should recognize that it is important. You recognize our aloneness. And when we recognize we are alone, we seek to connect with others. Many a times you hear people saying, hey, this place is very lonely. Mimi nitahama. Because they have felt they are very isolated. They are living in a place that has few people, and it is making them feel like they are not happy. So what do? They seek for connection. The other key given is meaninglessness. It means because life can be meaningless, because life can have inherent limitations, because life in it can have existential crisis and so forth, there is need to create purpose. The moment, and I want to echo these words for this man called Monroe. He said, once you lose purpose, you lose everything. So meaninglessness can come when purpose is not there. And that's why I want to congratulate all of you. You have found purpose. You are here. You know why you are living. Purpose. Purpose has brought you to this counseling because you don't want to live a life of emptiness. You want to live a life of knowledge so that when challenges come, you are able to confront. We have said we are able to confront. Thank you. We are able to confront. Let me give you something I read somewhere by that man, Bado, the Maxwell book. He said, who are the happiest people in the world? Who are the happiest? That question in his book. And he said, the happiest people in the world are not the wealthiest. They are not even the healthiest. Are you picking that? So it doesn't mean because you are healthy, you are happy. It doesn't mean because you are wealthy, you are happy. He said, the happiest people in the world are people with vision, vitamin V. So if you have vitamin V, that is you have vision, you'll be a happy person. If you have something to die for, every time you kick your blanket in the morning, you know where you are going. Whether you are taking care of your shaba, whether you are selling a shop, whether you are taking care of your cows, whether you have chickens, yes, that one is what is really required. But once you miss that, meaninglessness will follow you to the grave. One woman died because of meaninglessness. She had nothing to be happy about. Everything looked green. No food to eat, it was scarce. No good house. Can you imagine? You die quickly. You die faster. Let us be visionary. Vitamin V. Okay. Where are we, Millicent, now? Ni Millicent Omanga ama ni Millicent mwingine? What are we picking from this theory?
Hi, Mwalimu.
Hi.
I'm actually trying to reflect as I listen to you that I really need to check a few areas in me where maybe I'm faking it anyway. And it's kind of piercing to realize I need to be aware of some of the things that I need to work on. So it's bringing a lot of light on why we exist and some of the things that we do and why we do them, and how we need to be very aware of ourselves and what we need to confront, what we need to do more of. Maybe we are doing well. Yeah, that's what I'm picking. I'm trying to reflect as I'm listening to you.
Thank you, Millicent. Millicent, thank you. Somebody is trying to speak. Permission given. Somebody was trying to speak. You are free to do that, please. I saw like somebody wanted to speak. Faith, what can you tell us? Hey, or Faith is not in a position. Is Dixon here? Dixon, where are you? Dixon Uko. Yes? Yes. Yes. He has raised his hand. Can you say something? Maybe not in a position. If you hear somebody, I said online classes can be tricky. We can't judge. Oh, thank you. Not in a position. Powerful. I am also okay. Davy.
Yes, good evening.
Evening to you. Evening.
Yes, just a reaction on what you have been sharing with us this evening.
Yes.
Today's class almost feels like a philosophy class.
It is
Uh,
philosophically driven. I like that.
and these four existential dilemmas
Yes.
are actually very deep and heavy philosophical questions. So
Yeah,
as we carry on, I am very
yes.
eager to see how some of these are dealt with because they go and they reach very deep. So it is very interesting, and I can't wait to see the corner that you're about to take with them. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Yes. In fact, on our own, when we come to the discussion, thank you. Okay, Irene, before, yes, Irene and Dixon, they raised their hands.
All right, good evening. So mine is just the thought of the issue of trying to fake it or not relating to who you truly are. I think it brought the idea of the locus of evaluation, valuing external validation more than the self. So just bringing in the correlation of all these things, there is none that is so independent and autonomous. They're kind of related. They hit back to one of those key theories that we had looked into earlier.
There is a relationship. I like that. Thank you. A lot. You know, these theories, it's only that they add. And if you fit well, we said two major proponents of theories, or two major theories, were Sigmund Freud and person-centered. So most of them will be rotating around there. Thank you, Irene, for your input. David, when we come to the discussion, that is the discussion that you shall be having, we see the application of these dilemmas. We are going to look at it critically about those existential dilemmas. I think people will go deeper into them and try to apply them in our day-to-day lives, how they occur, how we can confront them, what is this that makes us have those dilemmas intensely affecting us, and how we can try to work on them when they come. That is good. I think we are moving on well. I can't complain. Now I want to go to the key concepts. But before I go to the key concepts, I can say this existential therapy, it is a collaborative approach. And a counselor and the client work together. Yes, they work together in the sense that it's like a fellow traveler. We are the journey together. So there is no expert, because one could be the counselor, but the client also is the author of their own lives. So these questions, the philosopher like Devi is talking about, these questions this person is asking, they can well be answered by the other person. So these people, they work together. Nobody is more an expert as compared to the other, because one is the author of the right, the other one is knowledgeable maybe in asking questions. Like Irene has said, I concur with her. This theory or therapy, the way it works, it is phenomenological in approach. It focuses on phenomenology. It has a phenomenological focus, just like Carl Rogers, meaning it is actually checks the client's subjective world, like Carl Rogers said. So mostly this theory dwells on the client world, not any other person, rather than providing the like Freud who interprets. You know the Freudian theory, they do interpretation of behavior. But when we come to existential, it is subjective. The client is the major person, and they can give their issues. They can solve their problems. They can even interpret their behaviors. They can. Like Carl Rogers said, what does that one make you feel? The client says, I feel bitter. That's why we call it subjective. Because this person is able now to interpret her for herself or himself. This theory, you are going to see that they don't have like standardized techniques. In fact, like the empty chair techniques, you not get those techniques in this theory. The theory is Socratic in nature. When we were doing the rest, I talked of Socratic questioning. And Socratic questionings are very philosophical. And because this theory is philosophically driven, in fact, you are going to see if you go deeper, it is that form, philosophically driven, that form. So it works on philosophy more than anything else. So it doesn't have standardized techniques like the ones Pavlov and Skinner were using, but it uses what we call open and honest dialogue and flexibility. So the client is made now to, is given a chance, say how you feel about yourself, be authentic, and so forth. So it is very simple, because it doesn't use those tools that other people or other theorists use. And another thing it does, this theory, it addresses anxiety. And according to these people, they say anxiety is not a disease, but it is a natural part of a human existence and can be a catalyst for growth. Anxiety is not bad. Anybody who lacks anxiety, you cannot go anywhere. You need to be anxious. The only thing that can make anxiety bad is when it becomes extreme. But normal anxiety is okay. In fact, we have different types of anxiety. If I remember, I can remember one type of anxiety we ran. There is called, and it was a serious one, called neurotic anxiety. Here, dear by. Lakini other anxieties are normal. Other anxieties are quite normal. It is good to experience anxiety once in a while. You cannot tell me that you are going to America tomorrow and you look very normal. You must be very sick. Yes, I can see them here. I remember them. The types of anxiety are called normal anxiety. Hii ni ile response tunapataga. Ingine inaitwa neurotic anxiety. It is caused by unconscious fears. Sometimes very unbearable. There is reality anxiety. When there is actual threat, you hear their shots near your home. If you are normal, you have anxiety, and it is real. The other type of, therefore, the other type of anxiety is called moral anxiety. From guilt. When we are guilty, we get anxious. For example, if you kill a person, I'm just saying, if you kill a person, not unless you are abnormal, you will feel something. So there is no more neurotic. I said neurotic has to do with the unconscious fears, and they are very uncontrollable. And this neurotic fear comes from the psychoanalytic base. And then there is reality, we have said, and moral anxiety. And sometimes when this anxiety becomes extreme, you can develop anxiety disorders, according to the DSM-5 of the American psychological whatever, those diseases they are trying. And that's why you find some people have panic disorder. Hiyo ni anxiety. Na panic sana, extremely, and so forth. Maybe you can look for that during your free time, and you may understand them more. Let me not go beyond there. I was just mentioning something like that. Where am I now? I was talking about addressing anxiety. And I've said, according to this theory, it's not a disease, part of human existence, like the normal anxiety and reality anxiety and the moral. When you feel guilty. That is a normal occurrence. It's not abnormal. Hata sisi wakati tulikuwa wadogo, if you take food from your younger sibling, ukiona mama yako unatoroka, that kind of an anxiety is very normal. Ukimwona unatoroka hata kwa dirisha, sijui whether you are brought up in a sophisticated home. Najua zile za manini matope na dirisha zilikuwa na space. Ni kweli dirisha zilikuwa na space mzuri, na wewe ni katoto, si unapitia hapo unamsikia. Najua watoto they are very sharp, ukimsikia unaenda bio kwa hiyo dirisha, na umekunywa maziwa ya mtoto kidogo. Anyway, that is right. Yes. So far so good. Let us now look at the key concepts. At least we have done the principles. And these key concepts, some of them you repeat themselves, and those that are repeated, I'll not talk about them very much. Those that are repeated, I'll get very much. For example, there is one I won't talk about, that is freedom and responsibility. That one we have said. It's a key concept and also a principle. Search for meaning, we have talked about. It is actually a central human task. You have a task. Wewe una kibarua to create personal meaning. Uko na kibarua cha kuambia watu siku hizi wewe unanifanya nisikie vibaya. You have a central human task. That is your task. Don't even tell your children, these days I don't get meaning in life because of you. You can still have it even when they are giving you problems. Even a river finds its way and it is flooding. It doesn't say this water is around. We are even defeated by artificial things that are not thinking. Sometimes I challenge myself. If a river is able to find its own course, my God, help me, please. I also behave like the river. When it floods, water finds its own way. So I am also thinking the way God has created us, everything has an outlet. Everything. What has inlet have outlet. So we have a task. Let's look for meaning. My marriage is really not making meaning. Please, find meaning. Don't crush yourself. Maybe I can share this a bit. Somebody, a couple I have been counseling, they have an issue in their marriage. So the man called me yesterday, and he told me, Elizabeth, I'm off. I'm off. I'm off. Do you have a few minutes we can talk? Nikamwambia ndio. Kaniambia, mimi nikanyamaza tu. I just gave him 2 words based on the story. You have become too good. And you are going to suffer. You'll be very miserable. I'm not saying you'll be bad, but take charge. Do you know, he called me today and told me things are really working. And it's only a day. Take charge. Take charge. People create their own miseries. That's what I have come to realize. And this theorist, William Grasser, said, people create their own miseries and then they complain, blame, and criticize. But if you look at them critically, they have created their own miseries. That man has created his own misery because he is the jack of all trade in that home. How can you be everything? I told him you also have a problem and agree with me. Akaniambia na ni kweli. Siona akikubali hata yeye anaona. Akaniambia na ni kweli niko na shida. Nimesema hivyo nikaona. I liked that. And today he called me, he said, I'm trying. Then I told him, Kanyanga, vizuri na pole pole. You need your home, you need everything. But start. You are still very young, you are just 42. By the time you are 60, you'll be in the grave if you are not very careful. What am I trying to say? Human beings have a task to create personal meaning in an often absurd or meaningless world. This world is very absurd and meaningless. Until you are at your place of work, you are trying to please everybody there. You will crash there. Number 3, that is key concept number 3 is existential anxiety. And this one, it captures the 4 givens. That is the givens. You capture them there in that concept of existential anxiety, in bracket, the givens. The death, the freedom, the isolation, and the meaninglessness. So, as I have told you, anxiety is an unavoidable human condition, and it is important, and it arises from the concerns, the 4 concerns we were talking about. David picked them very well. The 4 human conditions. So when these 4 human conditions are overwhelming, we can develop existential anxiety. But we have to ensure that we confront them. Sometimes it's not easy. We are not saying that things are easy. They are not easy. But don't allow things to crush you. In fact, today I visited a home when we were just doing a visit, and this lady had a brain surgery 3 times. God is good because she survived, lakini hashikanishi vizuri. The husband is really there. You can imagine living with such a wife. She is not connecting anything. Wewe kula, fanya hivi, enda choo. Yenye anatembea, lakini kuongea husikii. You can imagine what is happening. Confronting this, the human conditions, sometimes it's not easy. But the beauty is when you have the awareness that they are inevitable and unavoidable. Some of these things are unavoidable and inevitable. Yeah. If you have a child, for example, with special needs, It's unavoidable. You cannot kill the child. Unakaa na yeye tu. You have a child who doesn't like going to work. Hiyo ni mzigo mwingine. Some of these burdens, not easy to confront, but let's know they are not, we don't make them sometimes. It's nature, they are natural. The fourth concept is self-awareness. Self-awareness. When you have these clients with the existential emptiness or crisis, help them to make good choices and also to be authentic. One time I joined a webinar, and there was this particular person who was talking about mental health issues, and he gave just an experience he had. He was called by someone. When he was called, this person told him, I want to commit suicide. I want to commit suicide. So I wanted to hear from him how he really reacted. The man was in Eldoret, and this particular gentleman is in Bika. So he told him, okay, you want to commit suicide, and where are you? Then he told the man, sometime last year, I wanted to commit suicide because I felt my life was so empty and I didn't want to live anymore. And the person who had called, you also wanted to commit suicide? Yes. Then explain. You know, the man became sober, the one who wanted to commit suicide because of that sharing. So sometimes put yourself in the situation of that person. Put yourself and show them that whatever they are doing or they're intending to do is not very abnormal. Stop saying, now you want to commit suicide, you leave your children, you are not saying anything. Just show them how, divert their mind, and then seek for a dialogue. I was very happy when I heard that story, and I said, this is a principle I can use, maybe when I'm dealing with my clients, to divert them. And he said, after they had talked for a length of time, the man said, within 1 week, I'll be coming to Vika because you have told me you live in Vika. I enrolled in a course, MKU, and I want to learn psychology. And the thing that was making this man feel that he wants to commit suicide because the wife was too possessive. Every coin this man was getting, the wife was taking because she was a housewife. So he decided to come and study. And according to the person who was talking to us, he is almost finishing. So sometimes self-awareness is good. You become aware of who you are, and let us help these people climb that ladder. The other key concept is called authenticity. We had mentioned it. It is to be true to yourself. And the last one is here and now focus. It's an approach that is rooted in the present moment, whereby you prioritize what you are feeling now. So when a person comes to you and they have what we call the 4 human concerns, don't deal with the concerns as past. Deal with them or as how they are feeling about them as of here and now. So that it becomes very experiential to them and they can be able to confront them as they appear. So those are the 4, there are how many? 1, Number 1 is freedom and responsibility. Number 2, search for meaning. 3, existential anxiety, which entails the 4 givens. Number 4 is self-awareness. Number 5, authenticity. And the last one is what we are calling here and now focus. Any query from there? Any question, any input?
I have an input.
Yes.
I'm thinking about the forgiven, about death, isolation,
Mm.
and as I'm thinking about it as I listen,
Mm-hmm.
I'm realizing I've lost 2 parents, or from
Mm-hmm.
husband's side and my own side,
Mm-hmm.
and I kinda isolated at the time, because even when people are coming for prayers, I would really say I'm not around if my husband is not in the house, to avoid
Mm-hmm.
people coming in.
Mm-hmm.
And now it's when I'm thinking about it,
Yes.
there are things that I was avoiding.
Mm-hmm.
And so I kind of went into my own cocoon where I never came out.
Yes.
And I think for the longest, I've been that place that I never left, but
Mm-hmm.
I have avoided to deal with it. So every time we talk about them, I kind of think I've been faking it all along, thinking, I'm trying to remember the good things, but there are things that which I never maybe addressed at that time. And so it is bringing something, that awareness to awaken.
Mm.
Like, it's a painful place that you'd want to go to, but again, you need to come out
Mm.
of that place. You know,
Yes. Yes.
it's kind of making me reflect and think I need to come out of that place that I've been ignoring and maybe putting it behind my mind. But
Mm-hmm.
now I listen, I'm becoming more and more aware that I had isolated myself for some time, and
Mm-hmm.
even now that I rarely go to those places, I don't like touching those places. So there are things that I've not dealt with, but they are still there, that I kind of live as if they are not there. So I'm thinking it daily, like they don't exist, but they are there.
Hi, Drew Millicent.
I'm through.
Okay. How have you been able to work now, or what awareness are you taking from what we are talking about?
That I need to be very, very authentic about it.
Mm-hmm.
Those things that I didn't want to address, how they came up, how they treated me in some areas that weren't really good, the impression of some things that they had which wasn't even true. So I think it's where we were talking about the chair thing, where you need to come up with a method of sitting and maybe assuming I'm talking to one of them and having that conversation.
Mm.
Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you. I pick you very well. And when now you go back and medicine think about human beings having inherent limitations. You remember we said that, eh?
Yeah.
Those, yeah, you remember?
Mm.
And when they have those inherent limitations, they can do things that are going to annoy us, but we can confront. And I said, it's not easy. It's not even in a day. We don't do these things in a day. It is a process. But I want to pick your good word there. With the awareness and the readiness to work on it, you will still move on. So continue working on yourself, because some of these things are inevitable. Remember what we said in Gestalt. The past is gone, the future has not come, but the present is here with me. We are not saying that we ignore the past completely, because it's important. It makes the present, but do not let the past ruin your present. Don't. Confront them. They may not fade completely, but confront that which you cannot change. In fact, we normally say, you may not change what happened, because those pains are there. You may not change what happened, but you can change what you are thinking about what happened. Your thinking is the one that can change. Your perception is the one that can change. Your viewpoint, your interpretation can change. But what happened, happened. I was telling another person who was saying, my parents refused to educate me. Not that they refused, it's because maybe they had challenges. And he is aware of. Then I told him, dwelling on what did not work for you that time is going to ruin what you already have. It may not be very simple, easier said than done, but it's good. Let us confront them. Let us confront them, continue working on yourself, continue telling yourself, in this world, there is nobody who doesn't have a wood. We are all wooded. In one way or the other, we are wooded. Woods ziko zinalia, zingine zinatoa damu. In fact zinatoa wengi wetu, lakini we shall not dwell there. We say no. So thank you for that. It's a very powerful input and you are very authentic. I like what you have said, authentic. Being the truth hurts, but it heals. Let that truth hurt, but it will heal you eventually. So that you don't take the same ill to maybe your children. Or maybe it can also ruin your marriage. You know, it can ruin. Our marriages are not ruined because of us. They are ruined because of the problems we have not been able to handle. In fact, our marriages are ruined by issues we have not been able to handle. We are not the issue. The issues are the issues. Like I told you, the person is not the problem. The problem is the problem. So thank you for that input. Very powerful. What I'm teaching is that awareness is key to healing. Powerful, Irene. Thank you, Irene, for that. Thank you. Awareness. And surely we should even think deeper. When we come to the discussion, I want you to critically discuss the application of these concepts. Like now, how can we create awareness in ourselves? How can awareness be created? That is what I want us to be looking at. When we come to our discussion, we shall not have a discussion that is not application. It will be a discussion that is very applicable. If it is awareness, how can I apply application? Or how can awareness be applied in existential therapy? How can here and now be applied in that so that we own and also we experience it? That's what I'm thinking. We shall do application so that when we are brainstorming from the heart. So those points, I know we shall do them very well. And Devi will guide us today because he picked the 4 human concerns with a lot of passion. Okay, anybody else who has something before we can have a break? Break, we normally have it at 8, and 8 is on the way. Any other input? Wajiko. Okay, Dixon, are you in a position? You have raised your hand.
Yes. Hello.
Thank you. Thank you. Hello to you, Dixon.
Thank you, teacher. Sorry I couldn't reply last time. My microphone was giving me issues. But I'm listening and I'm enjoying the class. But requesting that after the break, maybe I'll join in a bit later. There's something I'll have to attend to. But what I loved today in this class is especially that part of the existential dread that we all have of death, all these anxieties, and and faking it. Yeah, and that is very. We always hide our feelings. We are never authentic. We are always maybe trying to please others in a way. Yes. So thank you.
Thank you too. We appreciate your input. We really appreciate. Okay.
Hello, Mwalimu. Hello.
Milka, I can hear you.
Yeah, I want to ask something about what about the people who hide their things? Like me, I just hide. I don't want somebody to know my problem. Is that a problem in counseling or what? You can stay for long without telling somebody your problem. You just want to live with that.
Yes.
Yeah, what do we call that? Is it part of what we are talking about?
You are not able to share what makes you feel that you don't want to share. Could be you suffered a fixation. Naona kuna kitu tulisoma na wewe psychoanalysis.
No, you know, I have joined recently. This is my second class. Yeah.
Oh, pole.
I think I'll have time to start and you teach me everything people have learned.
Milka, you are interesting.
Yeah. I really want to understand.
Good evening, everyone.
How do I teach you around? That one is interesting. I can, but anyway, don't worry. Okay, what
Good
we are
evening.
saying, I can pick what you are saying. That sometimes you feel difficult. There is something. Kuna mtu mic yake iko on. There is something we call. There is a theory that talks about psychosocial development. Psychosocial. It's a developmental theory. And this theory talks about trust versus mistrust. Maybe somewhere along the way when you are born or when you are young, you developed mistrust. So you don't trust people. So it's not that you have a problem. You don't like sharing because you developed mistrust. And this is because maybe your parents, the way they parented you, you didn't develop trust. You didn't. You know, trust issues, sometimes they come from where we are coming from. Maybe that one could be one. Then the Sigmund Freud talks about oral and anal stage. Maybe when you are born as a young child, the oral, that is breastfeeding, and the anal, that is toileting, they were not handled very well. And when they are not handled very well, particularly the anal, you develop some fear. And now this fear makes you timid. You don't like sharing anything because you become stingy. So it could be that as a person, it has come from there. And that's why maybe you find it very hard to share, even difficult things. Even if things are really disturbing you, you don't feel like it. Secondly, it could be you have also decided not to. You know, you can also make a decision. Some of these things could be personal. You don't want. You feel you don't want. With maybe other reasons of your own. You know, people have reasons why they don't do anything. I don't know. Milka, where are you? Do you feel like when you are being brought up, there is something that happened and you developed some kind of fear or somebody betrayed you? Now, along the way, somebody could have betrayed you. Ukashare alafu wakakutoa guo. And from that time, na afadhali nikufe na mambo yangu. So it can also be like that. I don't know where you are. Where are you, Milka? Are you somewhere near what we are talking about?
Yeah, I'm there. I'm listening. I'm listening.
wanangojea kwamba
Recording in progress.